Hi everybody, it's Dr. Sasheen. Dinner time. Making fried apples and sausage for my kid. Anyway, so I'm coming in to talk today about main character versus the supporting character that so many of you are playing. I'll try to be a little bit quieter. This video is not gonna be long because I'm not here for a long time, but a good time. So stick around. I'm gonna tell you where I've been because I've been gone for about a week. After the last round of the workshop, which is wonderful, I needed a bit of a break. So the workshop can come back stronger and we can talk about what's next. But for today, I want to ask you why you're playing the supporting role in your own life. Now, I get it. There are so many roles that we have to play, especially Gen X kids. Latchkey, forgotten, backbone of so many things, fulfillment of a lot of the boomers' hopes and dreams, while at the same time simultaneously being an utter disappointment to the millennials and Gen X and Gen Zers who can go sit down someplace for a minute. But the main role that we tend to play in the Gen X is the forgotten support. And when I say forgotten support, it's not that people are necessarily ignoring us, because they don't really. They're always seeking us out for something. But it's the idea that somehow we are going to just endure because the expectation is we are resilient. And in the face of everything else, we'll keep every piece of the puzzle together, as opposed to just letting all the pieces fall where they may. This is a problem, especially at a time where the world has changed and is changing in rapid and significant ways. And the draw to continue the status quo is, it's a siren call that is going to lead to our eventual metaphorical destruction. And the reason I say that is because Gen X is the smallest generation, okay, but it's the one that carries so much of the weight of expectation from the ones behind us and the ones in front of us. And the weight is what's slowing us down. Now, so many people are feeling the weight of the moment, but I'm arguing that for women of this age, for women of a certain age, the weight of the moment that we're in is exponentially greater because we are expected to endure the weight. Gen Z gets to make noise. Millennials get to waffle between being noisemakers and upset with us for not doing more, and yet at the same time loving us because we did a lot. I mean, they have their own stuff, right? But Gen X was raised to not make noise. This would explain why a certain portion of the Gen X population supports the status quo even when it is detrimental to them, because not making waves is infinitely more important than being the main character in their own life. So that is the preface for this particular conversation, because what that says is you are continually going to have to make excuses for the shitty life that you are enduring. And it's going to get harder and harder to find excuses that just don't sound like you're scared or like you're not the good person that you thought you were. Because you can't continue to make excuses for other people's really bad behavior inside your own life and yet somehow hold yourself away from it by saying, but that's not me. Then why are you continuing to be the supporting role in people's lives who are doing things that you find abhorrent, but you are just going to continue to support them because that's the role that you're destined to play? At some point, we're all going to be guilty by association, right? And if you are, you can't have it both ways. Well, you can, and you could until history meets a moment. And right now, history is meeting a moment. And the moment has a couple of different paths ahead of it. So, I like to say, and I say a lot, your path that you're on, you don't have to jump off to another path. There are always twists and turns and divots and short little segues that you can go down to see if you are on the right path. But sometimes you actually do need to jump off a path that you've been walking. And I would say that if your role has been the support for people who simply see you as a cog in their wheel and expect you to play that role, and you continue to play that role, then why are we mad at them for continuing to just expect you to be a cog in the wheel instead of being mad at yourself for continuing to be the cog in the wheel? And before you say it, I know you're going to say it because I've said it and I've had to do my own work around it. The expectation is, but, I have to because nobody else will, or it's expected of me because they're my fill in the blank. I posted something today that said, when someone says, after all I've done for you, that is your clear indication that this relationship was always a contract with hidden obligations. And you are expected to fulfill those hidden obligations regardless of what I do to you. And if you are now choosing to push back, that lets me know that you are no longer fulfilling my hidden obligations. And now I'm mad at you because I can't control you anymore. After all I've done for you is a clear sign that what you're wanting to do now breaks the contract with the person who is saying, after all I've done for you. It is hard to be put in the position to have someone look at you and say, I've given you your life. How dare you choose to take it and go do something else? That's because most of us were raised to be support. That is the role we're expected to play. It's the role that we play without thinking, and it's the role that we pass on to our children. Very few of us are raised to be main characters. And you can tell that because the main characters do not give a damn. They do not care about after all I've done for you. In fact, they'll be like, done for me? What have you done for me lately? And will go right on about their business. But I'm talking to the older child, the middle child, and even the younger wild child. I'm talking to a segment of the population whose mantra has always been, I'll get to me later. I'll get to me after the kids are grown. I'll get to me after my parents pass away. I'll get to me after I finish this, or I'll get to me after my husband or my wife does this. I'll get to me after because I need to support this. All the while living that life of quiet desperation, hoping that one day you'll get to be the writer you always wanted to be, the actress that you dreamed about being, the singer that you've practiced in your bathroom mirror of. Open the business, retire, travel, all the things that your main character has been dying to do, but you have said, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Well, the thing about hitting the Gen X generation that we should all be very cognizant of is that we are living longer, but we ain't living forever, right? We're not living forever. And at some point, there has to be a switch that flips inside of us, inside of you, into main character. Now, some of you don't want to be the main character. That's fine. Some of you are completely happy being the supporting person in everybody else's dream. Everybody needs somebody to play the supporting role. If you feel like that's your role, more power to you. No judgment here. No shade and no shame. But right now, under the sound of my voice, is someone who is looking around going, but when is it my turn? When do I get to? And how do I get there? That's my Life Reimagined workshop. Is it your time? Are you ready? Have you reached the place where you are like, living a life of quiet desperation is for people who are quietly desperate. I don't want to be quietly desperate, and I kind of am ready to do something different. If that's what you are saying internally, but you're not quite sure where you can say that externally yet, I might have something for you. I'm going to run another Life Reimagined workshop the end of August. Now's a great time to get signed up and on the waiting list. I'm opening it up to 15 people and 15 people only. But there is an opportunity in chaos that we need to exercise. This moment is not going to look the same for everyone equally, but you have an opportunity to decide what your main character energy would look like. Because let me break it down for you. Then I'm going to be done because I got to go cut these apples up. Some of you are paralyzed because the speed of certain things is designed to paralyze you. It's the whole point. When shock and awe ended, the goal was to leave a population so stunned and tired that they couldn't do anything else. It's worked in some cases, but it's not worked in others, right? And it may be that you are sitting there going, oh my gosh, what is it that I'm supposed to do now? I want to, but there are people around you going, listen, this is not your fight. Or they're saying this should be your fight. Whatever the case may be, whichever those two scenarios might be playing out, before YouTube blocks it, may be, the question that you have to ask yourself, if I were the main character in my own narrative, what would I be doing? In fact, I want you to answer that question for me below. If you were the main character in your own story, not a supporting role, not a fairy godmother that comes in every once in a blue moon and makes it better, but if you were the actual main character in your own story, what would you be doing differently today that you are not doing right now? That's the path that you should start walking down. That's the one I want to help you get to. It's Dr. Sasheen. If you want to join Life Reimagined, drop down into the comments. You'll find the sign up link for the next workshop, which will be happening. I believe it's on the 30th. I'll have to double check that before I post this. And get on the sign up list for the next workshop, because this moment isn't going to end. We're not even a year into large systemic change. Where do you want to be a year from now? Let's talk about it. Again, in the comments, tell me if you were actually living your life in main character energy today, what would be different? It's Dr. Sasheen. Click like, subscribe, and share it if you want to support the channel. My Venmo is in the comments. If you're anxious right now and you need some guidance on that front, the Anxiety Solution ebook is available to you. And as always, we are here to lift each other's peaceful boats, because the regatta sailing is infinitely better than a dinghy by itself. All right, take care, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.